So I figure I'll talk about this as a solo thing, which is that IMDb put out its most anticipated movies of 2025, the list from IMDb. And I'll say this, I agree with most of this list. There's two movies on this list that I don't personally have any excitement for, but I know they do have a little bit of fan base. Those two movies I'm going to talk about. So there's 10 movies, and we're just going to go through the 10 movies. So at number 10, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Agree with that. I'm a big Mission Impossible fan. I think this franchise to me has been constantly great since Mission Impossible 3. Like, I enjoyed the original movie, but I don't love it. And the second one's the only one I think is just bad and I just didn't like in the franchise. But since Mission Impossible 3, I have loved this franchise. And I think the trailer put out was great. I think the fact you have it in a trailer where it feels like it's going to be the last time Tom Cruise, like the end of Ethan's story, I think that's got a lot of people excited because of the fact that it could be the final movie for Tom Cruise. And, I also can see why it's at number 10 because Mr. Impossible Dead Reckoning, even though that got great reviews, that movie didn't exactly do well at the box office. It made over 500 on a 200 something budget, and I think it only opened to like 55 or something like that. So, it is coming off a movie that, even though that was very well liked, the last movie, it is coming off kind of like the one of the lower grossing Mission Impossible movies. But I still think people are excited for this movie. But I can see why it would be number 10 in the list. But this is definitely one of those movies I think a lot of people are anticipating for the year. I know I am. So I definitely agree with number 10, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Definitely one of my most anticipated movies as a Mission Impossible fan. Number 9, Minecraft movie. This is one of the two I'm not excited for. I don't have any excitement for it. I don't think the trailers have been good. But I will admit this. The Minecraft video games are popular. I never played any of them, so I'm not really a Minecraft fan. I never tried any of the games out. And for me personally, like I said, the trailers have looked terrible. I haven't liked any of the trailers for it, and nothing from the marketing has really got me interested to check out this movie. But like I said, it does have a fan base. Those video games are popular, so I could see this movie making some money. I could see it fall on its face and be really bad. I hope the movie is good, even though I have no interest in seeing the movie. I hope this is one of those movies where it's like bad trailers, but then it actually ends up being good, hopefully. But this is one of those two movies I don't have any excitement for or interest in personally. Number 8, Jurassic World Rebirth, which I actually am excited for this, which is surprising because I didn't like Jurassic World Dominion. I didn't like Fallen Kingdom. I enjoyed the first Jurassic World movie, but I don't love it. And, there hasn't been a great Jurassic movie since the original Jurassic Park. Like, that to me is a great movie. Everything else after that, like Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, I think are decent. But there really hasn't been a great movie in this franchise since that one. But people love going to see movies about dinosaurs eating people. I mean, even a movie like Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, they both made a billion. Like Dominion, which was considered a disappointment when it comes to the end of that cis film franchise, that movie still made a billion. So, I'm not surprised. People love going to theaters for these Jurassic Park movies when you have movies with dinosaurs eating people. People love seeing that on the big screen. So I'm not surprised this movie's on the list. And I agree with this because I am excited for it. Even though I didn't like the last two movies, from what I heard, it being kind of like a survival story, and that maybe they could get back to a little bit of the horror that the original had that kind of lacked in the movies afterwards. And the story sounds interesting for this one when it comes for me. And the director choice, the director who did Rogue One, which I loved. I actually love his 2014 Guys Love film. I like the creator. So based on what the story sounds like and the director choice, this would be on my most anticipated list, even though I didn't like the last two. But because of the director and the way the description sounds like, with it being a survival with some horror in it, like there is no. And I know you have the white of the first two movies back, so I am excited for this movie. So that would be on my list. Snow White at number 7. I have no interest in this movie. So this is the one of the other two besides Minecraft that I have no interest in. This is in the West list, and the West movies on this list I'm excited for, like the other ones. But Minecraft and this are the only two movies on this list I have zero interest in. The Snow White trailers for me, you know, they haven't done anything for me. I'm not even really the biggest Snow White person. Like I think I remember I watched the animated movie a long time ago once, and it's never been one of those movies that I hold really close to my chest. The original Snow White animated movie, and the trailers have really done nothing to get me excited for this movie. Like the first trailer, I think was mediocre. Like it wasn't very good, but I didn't have this like hatred towards that first trailer like a lot of people do. Second trailer was like a slight improvement over the first trailer, but I still don't really feel all that excited for this movie. It's a Disney live action remake. Now, do I think this movie will make some money? Yeah, because I mean, look at Little Mermaid. It made over like 500, and look, these Disney remakes do make some money. I mean, with Foster and Lion King, I think it's made over 500 at the box office. So, do I think Snow White will make some money? Yeah, I think even though it's got a bunch of hatred when it comes to the trailers haven't been great, and the main actress has said some stupid stuff that, again, another example of actors just not realizing what they say sometimes doesn't help your movie. Like how going on about there was no Snow White movie. Like I get what she was saying, but the way she said it could have been phrased way better. But at the end of the day, these live action Disney remakes do tend to make some money. You know, I can understand why it's on the list because even though there's a lot of bad marketing with the main actress saying stupid stuff and the trailer is not exactly wowing people, it's a remake of a beloved animated movie, so I do think it will make some money. Whether it will be good or not, who knows? And for me personally, it wouldn't be on my assignment list. The next then is Captain America: Brave New World at number 6, which that would be a spot I'll put it at because I think a lot of people are excited for it. But I also think the fact you've heard the press with the movie going through multiple rounds of reshoots. And I talked about this in the projections for that movie, how it's coming off a TV show that people liked and loved. A lot of people feel like a lot of people, right or wrong, will look at this as a TV movie because it's jumping off a TV show. You have a supporting character as lead character. You don't have Steve Rogers as Cap in this one. So I do think that movie will make some money. But I would say at 6 as well. I agree with where it's at though, and I would put that on this because I do think a lot of people are excited for it, but I also think there's people out there who I think there's also some people out there who's not really excited for this because of those factors that I mentioned. It would be on my list personally because I am excited for it. Number 5, Thunderbolts, which I'm actually not surprised by this because even though you have Captain America: Brave New World, which is technically the fourth movie in the Captain America franchise, I do think people are more excited for Thunderbolts than they are for Captain America. And I think those trailers with Thunderbolts have done a great job of getting people excited for this movie. And I think the idea of seeing all these characters together, and I know, I've heard some people compare it to Suicide Squad, and that's personally fine with me. I mean, the trailers to me have done a great job of showing that this is going to be some great chemistry between these characters. And I think the marketing has done a great job getting people excited for it. So I'm actually not surprised it's above Captain America: Brave New World because I do feel like people are more excited for Thunderbolts than they are for Captain America: Brave New World. And Thunderbolts will definitely be on my list because I love out of those 6 characters, a team. I love 4 out of those 6 characters. I mean, the only characters I'm not too excited to see really is Ghost and Taskmaster. So I'm hoping they get more to do in this movie, and you get more of their personality. But I think the trailers have been great, and I think they've done a great job marketing it. So I'm not surprised it's on that list. Number 4, How to Train Your Dragon. This will be on my list still, and look, I have my one concern about the movie. I did love the trailer, but I also do have that one concern where that trailer did just pretty much feel like my one concern is that that trailer was pretty much a recreation of moments from the animated movie, Which the one concern I have about this movie is like the Lion King remake, where I hope this isn't just a shot-for-shot live-action remake. But this movie, I do think is gonna make some money. Whether it be good or not, who knows? But this movie will make some money, and this would be on my list. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I love those movies, and the thing that gives me this movie hope is the fact you have the director coming back who did the animated movies, and I'm hoping he's coming back because he found a way to do some stuff that's different, and it's not going to be like a cardboard copy of the original animated movie. So this would be on my list personally, and I do think a lot of people are excited for it because a lot of people love those animated movies. So I agree with that one too. Fantastic Four First Steps. This will be on my excitement list too because I love the characters from the comics, and I think a lot of people are excited to see MCU tackle Fantastic Four. Now, the one thing I would say that kind of holds me back is that there's been 3 attempts released in theaters. You know, if you want to count the Wise and Coolman, the one that was never released in theaters, there's been 4 Fantastic Four movies, but none of them were any good. None of them have been particularly like greatly received, and I don't think there's personally been a great Fantastic Four movie or even a good one. I think they've all been terrible. And if you enjoyed them, more power to you. But I think for most people, they've been disappointed in the past attempts at a Fantastic Four. But this would be on my list because I love the cast they've assembled for this movie. I love the retro vibe they're going for with the stuff we've seen from Pissers. And like I said, I love the cast. I love the choice of director, the person who did WandaVision, which I loved WandaVision. So there's a lot of things I love that makes me really excited for this movie that it would be on my list. And the Fantastic Four beloved characters. And I think people have been waiting to see like a good Fantastic Four movie, for at least for most people. So this would be on my list too, and this movie I am excited for. So I agree with that being on the list. Number 2, 28 Years Later. This would be on my list too. That trailer I think was one of the best first trailers. And it's a movie that a lot of people I definitely think are excited for it. I mean, that first trailer is a great job of just what I feel like marketing does a good job is put out a great trailer that gets people feel like an event movie. And I think this feels like an event movie. I think people have been waiting to come back to this world, to this franchise. And the fact you have the director back who directed the original movie 28 Days Later even makes me more excited. But that trailer I think was just a fantastic trailer, one of the best first trailers I've seen. So it would be on my list still. Number 1, and this is the thing that I love seeing. It makes me I agree with this being in this movie being in this spot more than any other movie is that the Superman movie is at number 1. Which I 100% agree with that because Superman is my favorite character, and I mean, you look at that Superman trailer, it became the biggest trailer view-wise in history for WB, any movie in history for them with the studio, and it got more views than Man of Steel trailer did in a shorter period of time. And I think, and look, whether the Superman movie by James Gunn ends up being terrible, good, great, who knows? Wait to see when the movie comes out. And even if you didn't like that trailer, that Superman trailer, there's no way I think you can deny, at least for most people, not everybody. You know, you're not going to please everybody when you put out a trailer. You know, there's going to be some people that don't like that trailer that feel in the middle, okay, but not great. But I think for most people, I think a lot of people love that Superman trailer. And I love the fact it's not number 1 because the Superman movie feels like an event movie. And I love the fact that this feels like the first time that this feels like the Superman movie feels like an event movie. And I think everything James Gunn has said about this movie, I think that trailer to me is one of the best first trailers. I put up there with the first trailer for 28 Days Later, where that first trailer with Superman does a great job where the first trailer should do, which is gives you an idea of the tone, gives you some great images, gives you a sense of wonder, and I just think people are just so much looking forward to this movie. And for me, it would be number 1 for me personally, so I agree with that because Superman's, like I said, my favorite character. This is the movie to me that I'm excited for the most this year. This is also the movie that could, this is the movie where I'm like, the most excited for the movie for the year, and the one I'm highly anticipated, but also one that could disappoint me the most because I've been waiting for a great Superman movie since Superman 2. I'm really hoping this is it. Especially after what James Gunn has said, especially after that post set, especially after that fantastic trailer. But it makes total sense to me that this would be on the list. I can totally see why it would be number one for on the list, and why it could be number one for a lot of people. Again, not everybody. I'm sure not everybody loved that first trailer. I'm sure not everybody, loves what James Gunn is saying, the direction he's going with Superman. But I think for general people, for general population, for most people, not everybody, but I think a lot of people are really excited for the Superman movie. And if the views for that trailer didn't show that, then I don't know how. Even if you don't like that trailer, I don't know how you can't deny the fact that it seems like there's a whole lot of excitement for the Superman movie. Whether it lives up to that, we'll see when it comes out. But I do agree with this list. Even movies like Minecraft and Snow White, which are the two on this list, are the only two I don't have any excitement for. You have a fan base there with those two movies. You have people who love the Minecraft games. It does have its fans. And even though people always say they get tired of Disney remaking, animated movies, they do tend to at least make some money. So I do agree with this list. Like I said, 8 out of the movies I can't wait for. There's only 2 movies I can say I'm not really all that excited for personally, but I understand why they're on the list. So that's my thoughts on IMDb's most anticipated movies of 2025. Until next time, movie fans.